Hello friends, welcome to today's tutorial. Today we are going to learn how to import the CSV file into the MySQL database using Spring Boot application. In this tutorial, we will perform three types of operations. The first one, we will store the CSV file data in MySQL database, and then we will fetch all the list of the data from the table. And finally, we will download the CSV file in our local system. But before moving further, I wanted to show you I already stored some data, sample data in the form of .csv file and save in the notepad here. You can also save the data in the my MS Excel, so it will look like this. So I saved with this name .csv is the extension you should mention here. So I saved it with this name and .csv must be the extension. In case of notepad also it should be .csv. So now what I am going to do, I will show you the final application. This is our final application. Here you will get the option to upload the file. So I will choose that file and upload here. See, and I will click on submit button. Once I click on submit, I will get the file uploaded successfully. And from here you can download the uploaded file. But before that, I wanted to show you in the MySQL how it gets stored. See here, currently we don't have any table. I refresh it. So I got a one table developer tutorial. So I will just run this query, and can you see this is the data how it is saved. If you go into the notepad, it is like this. Now in the MySQL database, it is saved at like this. So this is the thing what we are going to build. And the one more operation like that we need to do, we can download the file. If I click on the download link, I will finally get the file downloaded here. Can you see it? If you go and open it, it finally open that this file .csv file. So let's learn how we have to do all this thing in the code level. So if you come here, this is article I have written all the details where I explain each and every line or the steps in a very detail. If you want, just go ahead. This is the link I will provide in the description of this video. Just go ahead and read if you want. So in this article I provided some steps. Just you have to follow each and every steps, like a step number 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Once you follow each and every step, you finally able to build the application something like this. So let's begin. So here what I'm going to do, I will follow each and every steps to achieve or to build this application. So just follow the steps. Step number 1, we need to create the project from the Spring Neutralizer. Just go here and search for Spring Neutralizer. And just click on the first link, give the group name, give the artifact name, give some meaningful name, and now left all as it is default. Just go and select some dependencies. Let's jump into the article. What are dependency we want? We want Spring Web, Spring Data JP, and MySQL Database. So just go here, Spring Web, JPA, Spring JPA, Spring Data JPA, and MySQL connector, MySQL driver. So alright, just click on generate button. Your project will be downloaded here. Just go here and click on show in folder and extract the project in your local system. Once you extract it, just go into the workspace in Eclipse. I'm using Eclipse and import the project. Maven existing project and choose the file where have you stored or extracted. So this is the file. Just click on that and select folder and click on finished to start importing in your workspace. Now see, it has been imported. Just go into the article and follow the another step. Step number 2, click on generate, we have done. Step number 3, unzip and extract, done. Step number 4, import the project in your IDE such as Eclipse. Okay, up to 4 step we have completed. Just go to step number 5. Configure the properties in its application.properties file. So what are the properties we need to configure? First, what I am going to do, I will just copy and paste it, and then I will explain you. Go into the application.properties file, just here, and paste it here. So see, the very first thing, we have the database source URL. Basically, we define the three properties related to database source. So data source. Okay, we are using the MySQL, so just mention the database SQL URL to connect the database. Okay, so this is the name CSV file app. I wanted to show you CSV file app. This is the database I am going to use it. So just come here, and next you have to give your MySQL database username and the password. Similarly, you have to give the JPA properties. This is the JPA properties, and finally you have to give the JPA hyphenate DDL dot auto update. So if you give the update here for this, what it will going to do, it will create a table for you based on the entity class which you define in a Spring Boot application, and perform all the update operation in that table. So that is the properties. And now come to the another step. Here I explain each and every part. If you want, just go ahead. Step number 6, we need to create a model class or the entity class. So what I am going to do, I will just copy it, and then I will explain you each and every steps. So just come here and just go to package, right click, and give the create a class, give the name developer tutorial. Okay, and see, this exact name I am giving so that it will not create a confusion. Developer tutorial. Just click on finished. Now I will just paste it the things whatever I copied from there. So I will paste it here. This is basically the model class or the entity class. So let's see what are the things we define here. See here, the very first thing, we have the entity annotation. We use or we tag the class with the entity annotation. It means that there must be some table which is mapped with this class or this entity class. And in the next step only we have mentioned the name of the table. This is the developer underscore tutorial. This is the table name which going to be created. Currently we don't have the table in the database. Just come here, see here, I will refresh it. See, we don't have the table right now. So this is the table which going to be created once our application get run. And this is the ID annotation used to make a primary key. ID is the primary key, and these are the columns name: title, description, published. Okay, these four fields are the column name. So like that, all the things, just default constructor and parameterized constructor and all the getter and setter methods. So this is the thing we define here. Just come here in the article and go move into the next step. Here I explain in the detail. If you want, just go ahead. Step number 7, create a repository interface for developer tutorial entity class. So I am going to create a one class with this name. So what I am going to do, I will just similarly I will follow same step. I will just jump into this and right click new class, developer tutorial repository. I have created, just paste it here. So I have pasted here and fix the error. Okay, I fixed it. Just close the extra tabs which is not required so that it will be easy for us to you to see. So see, the very first thing we have annotated with the repository annotation. Since it is a repository class, so we added this thing. And here we are extending the JPA repository. Basically, this is the predefined class which is present in the JPA. See here, the package Spring Framework Data JPA and other repository package. So basically it contains all the predefined, all the methods to perform the CRUD operation. CRUD means what? Create, read, update and delete the data from the database. So it provides all the things which is required necessary to perform a basic query operation or the SQL operations related to database. And in the Angular bracket we mention the name of that class, entity class. See here, the name is developer tutorial. This is the entity class, developer tutorial. So we have mentioned the developer tutorial, and here you have to give the primary key data type. Remember, data type, primary key data type. See here, the primary key, we have the ID and the data type is long. So since the long is like not a non-primitive, it is a primitive data type. So here you have to mention the non-primitive data type, that is the object. So object or the wrapper, actually it is a wrapper class of long or the int, like that, integer. So we have to mention the object, you have to pass the object. So integer is the object. So that's why I've given there. So now jump into the article and move on to the step number 8. Create a class to read the, see here, step number 8, create a class to read and write the CSV file. It is one of the most important step you need to understand. So here we required one more dependencies, name Apache Commons CSV. So it provides so many classes like CSV parser, CSV record, CSV format to read and write the data of the CSV file. So just what you have to do, just copy it dependency, or you can easily get it from the Google. Remember the name Apache Commons CSV. Just I am copied it and go to pom.xml file and placed under the dependencies tag. Okay, just placed it anywhere you want under, but make sure it should be under the dependencies tag. So it's properly arranged. Now just come here and in the next point, now create the helper class as shown in below. So we need to create the csv helper.java. So first I will just copy it and then I will explain you each and every part, because my intention is to explain it. You can easily get this type of the code from anywhere on the internet. So my focus is only to explain. Just copy it. Let's do it from the here and copy it all. Just go into the Eclipse. Control N is the shortcut to create a class. Just go class, give the name CSV helper and paste it here. Now see, the very first thing we have the method name has CSV format. Actually it will check whether the file that you are going to upload is having the proper CSV format or not. Okay, so here it will validate. If it is have CSV format, then it will return true, or either it will return false. So basically here we are checking two type of the content type. Okay, the very first thing we have checking .csv, and another, if it does not having .csv, it must having this. Okay, this is the format. This format should be present. Now the another method we have, the name of the method is CSV to tutorials. So the purpose of this method is convert the CSV data or to store the CSV data from the CSV file to MySQL database. So see, one by one I will explain you each and every line. So first thing we have created the object of buffer reader. Okay, we are passing the another object name input stream reader. Okay. Now another object we are creating the CSV parser object. So basically this object is present in Apache dependency. See, Apache commons .csv .csv parser. So these are the classes which is present, which is responsible for reading the data and writing the data from the CSV files. So these are the predefined class and we are using here, and we are passing all these parameters here. And then I have created one list variable, okay, of which can store the data, which can store the object of type developer tutorial. If developer tutorial is basically this entity class, it will store all these details of title, descriptions, published, ID. So these are the things. And another things we have getting the CSV parser dot get records. So actually it will return the list of or data in the form of like it will return the data in the form of list. See here in the MySQL we have ID, title, description, published. So it will return one by one. The very first record it will return this, then it will return this, then it will return. So it will contain the list, all the list in the form of like this CSV record. Once it is written, then we are iterating one by one. See, we perform the for loop, and one by one, it means one, like one column, one row at a time. So it will give the one row at a time, and we are just fetching the data. Like if it is of the ID, then it will store the value of ID. See here, we have the title ID, we have the title, we have the description and the publish, and these are the values stored in each and every columns. So it will give the one in the very first time. So it will return one and it will store here. And similarly, it will return title. The very first title we have is Spring Boot tutorial. So it will return the Spring Boot tutorial, similarly for description and similarly for publish. And this will go on loop until it finished it all the data up to 5. Okay, so once it is returned all this thing, then we are saving in the list developer tutorial list dot add all this. Okay, actually one by one only we are adding this. Once it is stored in this list, then finally what we are doing, we are returning that list. Okay, developer tutorial list. Okay, so now another method we have to tutorial to CSV. This in this method we saw from the CSV data to MySQL database. Okay, the next state method we have tutorial to CSV means from the MySQL database to again converting into the CSV file data. So this is the method responsible for that purpose only. So I have created the CSV format object, like it is returning the CSV format. So see here. Next, we similarly we use the byte array output stream object we are creating, and we are using CSV printer here. CSV printer is defined in Apache Commons package. I can show you CSV printer. See this apache.commons.csv printer. So this class is defined there. So we have created this class, and then again what we are going to do, see here developer tutorial list. We have the list, all the data in the form of list, and one by one we are converting in the array as a list in the form of that, and we are getting all the value like ID, title, descriptions, and this published. Okay, all the data, all the values we are going and we are storing in the data variable. Once we are stored, and then we are using the CSV printer object reference, and then we are using the CSV printer, and we are using calling the one predefined method print record. The purpose of this method, what it will do, it will take the all the data from the MySQL, okay, the data which we are giving in the form of list, it will convert into the comma separated data in the single rows wise, like this format. It will convert in this format. Okay, because this time we are fetching the data from MySQL. In the MySQL, we store the data in the like different columns. So it will convert in this format. This format. Okay, it will separated by the commas, and it will like that. And finally, we are doing the CSV printer dot flush. It will create a one separate file .csv file, and finally we will able to see the data what we are seeing right now. This is the file. Finally it will give the .csv file. So this is the purpose of this flush, and finally it is a return that object, and we will use actually this class we are going to use in the from the further steps in from the controller class. We will create a controller. From there we will call this type of these methods, and we will perform all sort of operations. Now move into the another step we have, and see here explanation of each line of the code. I explain each and every methods whatever that used there one by one. I explain in detail. If you want, if you have any confusion, just go ahead and read it. Now come to the step number 9. We need to create a one service class, CSV file service class. So as usual, I will just copy it, and then I will explain you what is the purpose and where we are using it. Just copy it and give the name. Just go here and Control N. Select class, give the name CSV service. Okay, I have created this class and paste it here. Fix the error, what error you are getting, rename. Okay, alright, I have fixed it. Now see, the very first method we have the same method. See, first annotation, you must have the service annotation because it is a service class we are defining here. So you have to the very first method we have same method. So what it will do, just see here, will show you. Once you choose the file and it will get uploaded. Okay, so this is the method only get executed when you choose the file and select the file, so it will upload it and store the data finally into the MySQL database. Okay, and see the very first line, we are using CSV helper class. Alright, and we are using the method CSV to tutorial. I already explained you in the CSV helper this method CSV to tutorial. So it will be responsible for converting the CSV file data into the MySQL, to storing into the MySQL database. So I told you we are going to use it, and this is the in the service class we are calling that method. And finally we are using the save all method is already defined in the JPA repository. See here, JPA repository we are extending, it is already present there and we are just using it, and it will finally save all the data in the database. So that is the purpose. All the data means what? This all the data in the database. Now another thing we are using the another method load. So this method is basically used to load the data from the database to CSV file. Actually, it will use when we wanted to convert the MySQL database or the file data stored in the MySQL database into the CSV. Okay, so see, we are using the CSV helper.tutorials to CSV. I already explained this method too. Okay, the first method for CSV to tutorial means CSV file data to MySQL database. Second method is reverse of that. The from the MySQL data to the again CSV file. So from service class we are calling that method which is already defined in CSV helper class. And finally we are returning that values, all the data in the form of byte array input stream. Okay, so finally we are using it, and then we are also using one more method, get all tutorials. So actually it will return all the data from the MySQL in the form of list. Okay, finally it will return in the form of list. List means what? I wanted to show you so you will able to understand easily. See, this is the I'm just showing the preview. This it will return the list like this in the JSON format. This method get all tutorials. So these are the things we define here. Now jump into the next step. We have step number 10, create a class for response message. So first I will just copy it and then I will explain you why we are using it. Copy it, just control N, choose the class and give the name response message. Paste it here, fix the error. So the purpose of this class to give the message or the response in the proper format. So response, when somebody calls some API, it should be in the proper format. Response should be in the proper format. So this is the just a response message, and I will explain you when I am going to implement in the controller class. Okay, so just go ahead, and here I have defined parameters, just two parameters I have defined. I will definitely explain you at the time of controller. So see, step number 11, we have to create the controller class. So I will just copy it and then I will explain you one by one about the controller class. So just copy it, go here, control N, choose the class and give CSV controller and paste it here. Just change the name of the file accordingly. Alright, we are good to go. See, the very first annotation we are using cross origin. So this will only accept the call HTTP request from this URL only. Okay, that is the purpose. It is optional. It depend upon you. If you want, just give it. Controller is just for controller class. So another annotation we have, what is request mapping. Just I wanted to show you. Here I explain it that this annotation is used to map the specific class method when the certain API get a call from the client. So whenever somebody call or the or get call from the client side, it should be mapped to the particular class. Okay, so this is the class based URL or the API they have to be followed if they are calling the upload. Okay, they have to be start with the API CSV and then upload. That is the proper format. That is the purpose of request mapping. Now another we have we have defined the CSV controller class, and see the very first method we have or the API we have upload. This is for uploading the file. Okay, uploading the file into file data from the CSV to the MySQL database. Alright, the very first thing it will check whether it has the CSV format or not. If it is CSV format, then it is finally calling the save method. Save method is defined in service class. Now see, file service class, this already I explained you CSV service, not file service. Actually the file service is just a name of variable. Actually it is a CSV service class. So it will call the method of save, which is defined in the service class, which I already explained you. It is further calling the helper. From the helper method CSV to tutorial, it will convert the CSV data and store into the MySQL data. So that is the thing we are using that. So once it is done, then we are just giving the message to the user or the end user that uploaded file successfully. For example, just come here. Earlier in the show you see file uploaded successfully. This is the message we are giving to the user. So that message is coming from where? It is the coming from, actually it is coming from here only. I will explain you, I will show you uploaded file successfully. It might be different right now because it is changed. If I run this application, the message will be like this. Now another thing what we are doing, we are just calling one method from current context path. Okay, this method will return the file downloaded URI. Actually this method, the very first thing, it will return the path like localhost 8080. Currently we have by default localhost 8080. Then again we are just appending one more path in that API CSV download, and finally we are also appending the get original file name. Okay, it means like API CSV download and finally the original file name, for example developer tutorial.csv. So the finally we will get the file download URI. So this thing we already used in the UI side. I show you this is the URI. See the very first localhost 8080, then we have the API CSV download, and then we have the name of the file, original name .csv file. So it is like that. So this purpose of this method, if you wanted to know the purpose of this if API is to upload the files, and once the upload file is done, it will give the message and as well as it will return the URL to download that file again in the CSV format. So that is the purpose of this method. And see, return the response status OK and the body. Here we are using the response message object. Did you remember we defined the response message object or the class? So from here we are calling that constructor of that, and we are creating the object and passing the message and the file download URL. If I click here, I will redirect here. See, I will like jump into this class, response message class, and it will assign the value of message and file downloaded URI. So that is the purpose of response message, and this is the purpose of the very first API upload. Similarly, we have, and see, If you did not upload the CSV file, it will give the message please upload the CSV file. Okay, and it will return in the similarly in the response message object only. Another method we have the tutorial. Okay, get all tutorial method, and the API name is tutorials. So when you call this API, see, when you call this API tutorial, see, this is the API CSV tutorials. When you call, it will return the list of the data from the database. Okay, whatever you have stored from the upload API. So it will return all the data in the form of list. Another thing we have the download URL. Okay, this API this API is used to download the particular file from the uh, so this API is used to download the file which already we saved the data in the MySQL. So what it will do, it will just take all the data and convert into the proper CSV format, and finally it will download it into the .csv file. So here you have to mention the file name, whatever file name you want to keep when that file is get downloaded into your system. For example, just go here. I will show you. In this is the API CSV download, and I have given some random name tzd.csv. Okay, from the postman I am calling send and download. When you call like this, it will finally go into the database and collect all the data and convert into the CSV format, and finally download the file in the form of .csv. I already showed you here in the initial part only. Uh, See, when you click on this link, it will call this API. Can you see? This is the API. Currently, I am not running the application. That's why it is not coming. But you have to focus on the API name. Download tutorial.csv. So it will finally download your file in this format. So here the name is developer tutorials.csv, or depend upon the name whatever you do, but the extension should be CSV. So it will download the CSV file like that. So this is the thing I explained here in this download API, and similarly it will return the response. Okay, it will return the response. So this is all the API we defined in the CSV controller. Now come to the another step we have. Here I explain each and every annotations as well as the methods. If you want, just go ahead. Step number 12. We need to configure the maximum size of the CSV file to be uploaded. If you want that file should not exceed certain MBs or like size, then you have to define like this. This is the properties you have to define in the application.properties file. Just go into the application.properties file and paste it here. So these are the 2 MB. So it should not exceed 2 MB. Okay, file size should not exceed 2 MB. So that thing we define here. Now step number 13, we are creating the class to handle the file upload exception. If suppose anybody try to upload the 3 MB file or any size file more than 2 MB, or whatever you declare or define in the application.properties file. At that point some exception come, and to handle this exception just we are using this class file upload exception advice.java. Just I will just copy it and create a one class with this name. Copy it, just go here and give the name file upload exception. Okay, and I will paste it here and just change the name file upload exception advice. Okay, so that is the thing, and fix this. So here there is a mistake. We are passing the response message, and here it should be the two arguments total, because a response message constructor, can you see, it will accept two arguments. There is a mistake in the article. I will correct it before uploading the video on this internet. So I will correct it and just update there. So where I was, file upload. Now I have given passing one empty string here. Now the exception like error gone. So this is the class only responsible for handling the exception come when the file size get exceeded as mentioned in the application.properties. So now come to the another point, or come to the another thing. See here what I have written. Alright, all the code part has been completed. Now we are good to go and run the application. But before running the application, make sure the pom.xml should be exactly look like this. Okay, make sure all the dependency you have there in the pom.xml. Application.properties, you have to give your MySQL database username. Okay, and the password. It should be correct. Otherwise, it would not going to be work. So finally, if you want step number 14, you have to run the application. So and still we did not implemented the front end part, and I make it optional. If you want, just go ahead and do it, but I will explain you in this video. Step number 15 in the front end part. The before doing that, I wanted to show you with the Postman. So just run the application and go to the API CSV upload. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to Spring Boot main class and right click, run as Java application. So once it is start running, it will create a table here. See, currently we don't have any table, but when it is completely started running, see, started on the port number 8080. Okay, it is started, and then we table is get created because we use this thing in the application.properties auto DDL update. So here I will refresh it. Yeah. See, developer tutorial table. One table is created due to developer tutorial, and then the name is exactly same whatever we have given in the entity class. See, in the entity class we have the given the name. Here developer tutorial, and exactly same name table is created. Now just go ahead and execute this simple query, and you will able to see the table. See, ID, description, publish, title. Of course currently we don't have any data, but when we upload the file, then it will all the data will populated here or stored here. So just go ahead and in the Postman and just use the URL API CSV and upload. Make sure you should follow this API CSV because at the starting only I told you in the controller class we are using this. See, controller class, this is the proper format, or this is the starting point, and then after that you have to give the upload or download like that. So the very first step what we are going to do, we will use this API CSV upload. Just go here, CSV upload, and just go to the body part and click on the form data, choose form data. Now, here you have to mention the key and the value. So in the key, if you come here and you will get the drop down, just choose the file because we are going to upload the file and give the name of that file. It's like parameter file. Okay, and select the file. Suppose I already have saved this c.csv file here. I have uploaded. And now you have to call the send button. Click on the send button. Once you click it, the request will go, and let's see it will work or not. So okay, we have to send the post method. Alright, we got 200 OK and uploaded file successfully. See, message uploaded file successfully. The name of the file is there. And now go to the MySQL. If you just execute this query, you will able to see the data. Can you see all the data is saved here? Because we have uploaded the thing from the Postman. Now similarly, if you want to download or if you want to get all the For data in the form of list, just go ahead and do it similarly. Here I have explained you everything. See, if you want to download, just use this URL, and I will just copy it. I will paste it here, and see here is the important part. Instead of this file name, you give your name whatever you want to keep. Suppose I keep just random, or no, just keep some name, good name, data.csv. So once it is get downloaded, it will save in the data.csv. Name of the file is data.csv. So just click and so just choose the get request and send, and here you have to choose the drop down send and download. Once you click on that, you will able to see download.csv and click on save button. See, downloaded response. Finally be able to download the data in our local system. If I go there, open, if I search data.csv, see, data.csv has been downloaded in our local file. So these are the things, and one more API we have defined in this controller class, that is, what is the name? Tutorial. So if you call the tutorial API, it will return the data in the form of list. Just what I'm going to do, I will just call the tutorial API and send the get request. Okay, just see. Can you see it? It returned all the data in the form of list. Now up to this it is completely done. If you want, just up to this it is done. Now we will look into the front end part. So for the front end part, I have mentioned all the things, and you can download the source code if you want. And the front end part, I will just copy all the things. We need to create the index.html in the path source means resources static folder. So I will just copy it, and it's very simple. If you know little bit of HTML and JavaScript, so simple. Just go here in the static and right click, new file, give the name index.html and paste it here. See, just I am closing this application. I will run it again when all the thing is done. And here I have just defined all the titles. Simple. It is very simple. So this is the S2 tag, and here I have defined the form data and the button. So button you see to upload the file in the UI side. This button, submit button. Here only I have defined this submit button. So that is the thing in the index.html. Just go ahead and main.js. It is a JavaScript. I am using the simple plain JavaScript, and the file, see, I just copy it, and the name, see, where we have to store source main resources static. Under that we need to create one more folder JS. Inside that we have to create the main.js. Just go here into the static, create a one folder, new folder name is JS, and in that folder you need to create a one file, that is main.js, and paste it here. So see, this is the JavaScript to upload the file, and similarly for download the file. Here I have mentioned this all the things. Similarly, now this is the JavaScript. Now come to the styling part. Styling part means what? This is the color. See, you can see this is the color, background color, button color. This is be done in the main.css. So I will just copy it, and for this also you need to create a one more folder, name is CSS, under the static folder. Create one new folder, give the name CSS. Inside that you have to create one file, keep the name main.css. Alright, and click and paste it this. We done, we have completed. Now run the application. If you run the application, you finally able to see this screen. Just I am closing this. This is the because old one, and now I am running this application. Go here and run it. So see, it is starting running. Let's see it will work or not. Oh yeah, it is started running on port number 8080. Just go there and your browser localhost 8080. Yeah, we got that. It is running. Now if you want to upload, just click on choose file and upload the file developer tutorial.csv. And once you click on submit, it get uploaded and go into the MySQL database and store all the data. And finally we got the message file uploaded successfully, and you will get the download link. And once you click on that, you finally able to download the CSV file here. Okay, see here. If you go and open this, you will able to see all the data. This is the .csv file. .csv file we finally downloaded. So that's all about this tutorial, guys. If you have any problems, so I have written the article here, complete details I have written, and I also have given the source code. If you just wanted, just go ahead, and just it is for reference, but it is highly recommended just go and do it by yourself. And if you get any error, just use the Google Stack Overflow. All the things are available there, because it's so easy. If you debug yourself, if you get any error or a stuck anywhere, just go ahead and do it. You will definitely get the solution for that. So of course at the end I will definitely available to help you if you get any problem, but I will recommend you just go and do it yourself. So this is the article I have written. Just if you want to know in a very depth theoretical way and explain each and everything in this article, just go ahead and read it. So that's all about this tutorial, and yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck.